Minutes after 3 o'clock, Dewayne Williams in the Mix Afternoon Drive. As we like to say, doing our best job to try to get you home on this Wednesday, or I'm sorry, on this Monday afternoon. I don't know where Wednesday came from. But anyway, we're going to welcome in a couple of our guests. One of the guests that's here right now with me is someone that I have known for quite some time. Her and her husband both, actually. Chelsea Hancock is here with me. She is actually the girls and boys coach, I found out, Bradley Central High School, the bowling team. And she's brought along a very good bowler with her. We're going to find out just how good here in just a second. Hannah Winters is here with us as well. So we'll have to welcome in Hannah and Chelsea. First of all, Chelsea, tell me a little bit how's things been going with you. Haven't talked to you in quite some time until last night.
Doing well. I mean, fast-paced, teaching in a pandemic and coaching in a pandemic's been very interesting, but I think that we've done a great job transitioning school-wise. We've had a lot of support, and we've been able to finish our season. Girls were undefeated in the district, so it's been exciting. I'm excited to finish off this year with Regions tomorrow, so it's been a good year.
Hannah, tell us about it. How's your bowling season been?
It's very interesting.
You've been excited to bowl, and you're looking forward to.
It's been a good year.
It's been a good year.
Yeah.
Now, Hannah's a little shy, she says here off the mic, so we may have to coach her along a little bit. No pun intended, right, Chelsea?
I know. When they get in front of these mics, they get a little shy.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, it's just
I was
like.
glad we got to finish though.
Oh,
I was
good.
scared with like all the quarantining and stuff.
We've had to reschedule several times, and I think that that's been interesting because I know as a senior, you want to finish those matches, and it's
Absolutely.
like, okay, reschedule, somebody had to quarantine, and the rule this year was if your number one bowler was quarantined or had COVID, then you didn't have to bowl that match. They actually let us make up that match to make it fair. So, we've all had to quarantine, I think, at some point. That's just the reality of it, but
Right.
we've worked through it, and she's had a great year. She's averaged better than she has all 4 years bowling with me. Of course, she's been with me 4 years. I had to beg her to bowl, actually.
Uh-oh.
She went to Bradley to, play golf, and I was like, all right, you got to bowl with me, because I've known her grandfather for a while. They worked together. My dad and him worked together, and so I was like, please, bowl, and so she did, and, she ended up loving it, and she's great at it.
She talked to me at orientation my freshman year when I was walking in the hallways.
So she snagged you. She was kind of, quote unquote, recruiting you for that. Hannah, I'm going to ask you a question. You're a golfer too, right?
Yes.
And I see this across the board. Why is bowlers and golfers that they seem to be good at both of those sports? Could you give me maybe an explanation why? Because it seems like if you know somebody that's a good bowler, they're usually a pretty good golfer too. Is it just concentration and maybe following through? I mean, I know like with a golf swing, you got to kind of mimic the same swing every time to get the swing the right way. And then bowling, pretty much the same thing. You got to mimic that. Do you think that may be some of it?
I think they're both mind games.
The mind games?
100%
Yeah.
agree.
And so you're telling me you like to play mind games is what you're saying. Well, Hannah, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about maybe the last time you bowled. I mean, I know you had a great series and some things like that. Can you give me some details on your scores? Do you mind to do that?
My first game was a 233. My second game was a 246 and a 208.
And for people that don't know out there, 300 is a perfect game. So when you're bowling that level every single time, that's pretty incredible. Now, Chelsea, break it down for us. If you get to that type of points, how many times are you having an open frame if you're bowling over 200? Probably no open frames, right?
I would say, like a 246, I think she might have had 2 or 3 open frames,
Right.
but they wouldn't be back-to-back.
Yeah.
So it might be, 2 spares open and then the rest are closed, maybe another open at the end. I mean, for a high school senior and a girl, I know not to be feminist or anything or sexist, but that's very high potential.
Right.
I mean, some of your adult women are not averaging that.
Absolutely.
And, she averaged 193 for the season, which is phenomenal. To put it in comparison, averaging 201 myself. I mean, you think of the level of competition. I mean, I've been bowling probably double the amount of time that she's been bowling. I mean, she's a great bowler, and I think what makes her great is she hones in and she has a desire and she has the passion for it and she practices. She works at it. I think the difference between this year and last year would be mentality.
Yeah.
She learned to play the mental game. And that's what's made her a better bowler this year than even so last year. I mean, she was a great bowler last year. I think she went to state with 187 is what we were talking about yesterday. So this is her second state appearance as well. Just just phenomenal kid all around, really.
Good stuff. Again, we're speaking with some friends of ours from Bradley Central High School, talking about high school bowling. And Chelsea, when you texted me last night, you said, can we throw bowling a little bit of love? Because let's face it, it's not football, it's not basketball, and maybe not even the golf sector and sometimes soccer. So bowling does need a little bit of love. And if anybody knows me, they know I have that background as well, loving that sport. And so I said, absolutely, you guys come in. We wanted you to come in today, not only to highlight what Hannah has been doing this season, but tomorrow begins something in our community people may not know about as well. Tell us what's going on tomorrow at Leisure Time Bowling.
So tomorrow the region tournament takes place, so that's District 5 and District 6 coming together to determine who will move forward to sub-state. So for the first round, it's the guys. So because of COVID, we have kind of split it up to guys in the morning, girls in the afternoon. So Walker Valley guys are actually first in our district, so another hometown team. And they will take on Signal Mountain in the first round, and then Ray County will take on Hickson boys from Chattanooga. And then the winner of those two matches will compete again in around 11:30 for the championship. Winners get to host region or sub-state, excuse me, and then the second place has to travel, and I would say somewhere near Smyrna, Nashville. On the girls' side, they start at 1:30. We will host Saudi Daisy, and Ray County will host CSAS, and then the winner of those two matches will then first place will host sub-state, and second place will travel. So our hope is that we win.
You know, it's been pretty good around here. Bowling has been really good for the high school athletics in this area between Bradley and Walker Valley. It seems like over the past 10-plus years, one or the other or both have a pretty dominating team, whether it's a girls' team or a guys' team. And so bowling is, folks, if you have a young person, a middle school age person, that they say, no, I don't like basketball, I don't like football, but I want to get involved in some type of high school athletic program where it's a team sport, where I can figure out something else to do with my time and enjoy myself, bowling would be a great sport for someone to be involved in.
I don't think people realize how competitive it is until you come and watch and you actually see what it comes down to. I mean, it takes everybody, but it's also an individual sport. I think that's what makes it fun. You know, you depend a lot on your higher average bowlers, but if your other your other teammates can't, make it happen, then you're not going to win games. I think with CSAS, it came down to overall pinfall, and I think, 14-13 we won that match? I mean, it was super
close.
Yeah.
So it matters, and like you said, I think that when they start at a younger age, it makes it easier. And we do have leagues on Monday nights for youth league, you know, as a youth league. And it's $10 a game, 3 games, and there's plenty of people there to help them, even on that league, just getting them started out.
We're going to come back over and speak with Hannah Winters. She is one of the people that's going to be bowling tomorrow in the region tournament. Hannah, what made you, after you've done this a couple years, what is your favorite thing about bowling? What is your favorite thing? Is it the team camaraderie? Is it the challenge of yourself? Even though it's the same game every time, it's the different conditions of the lanes. It's the person, your opponent. Kind of tell me what some of your favorite things are about bowling.
Bowling has really become like a passion of mine. Like, I want to be there.
So you just want to, it's something that desires you to want to get better, basically, which is for a young person that's great to have that drive to want to continue to improve and not just kind of settle for what it is. Now, after the regions tomorrow, Leisure Time Bowling, like you said, depending on what happens in that, either Leisure Time will host the sub-state, depending on, and they could host a boys or a girls or both, depending on what's going on. So this is a big deal for our area to be able to do that. And so we definitely wanted to spotlight what is going on. Now, you mentioned briefly, we want to throw a little bit of love at the Walker Valley Bowling program as well. I know you're very good friends with the coaches up there. Is John still a part of that?
He's the head coach, and then he has Lauren, his daughter, Demersion, let me say it right, and Scott, her husband, that are assisting him. And to be honest with you, let's give them a lot of love because they shot 3,600 pins, which is phenomenal.
Wow.
They beat their record against Ray County and shot 3,600 pins. So, and I know Cody Reimer, his cousin actually shot 266 in that third match that really, took it all for him. So they've got some good bowlers. Jacob Jarnigan and Jacob Brown have really led for him. Spencer Faust. I mean, they've got good bowlers. I know we were joking and cutting up, but I think we had a lot of fun at districts because we actually got Walker Valley boys to say "Go Bears!" So for our girls. So, and they said before regions tomorrow they'll be there to cheer us on and kind of do our huddle with us and kind of chant for us. So it was a lot of fun. So I don't think Walker Valley parents were real happy about it, but of course they were joking. I think that's one thing I love about this district and this community is everybody loves each other in this sport and everybody roots each other on, but when it's competition, but we're all still friends at the end of the day.
Sure. Good stuff. Again, we're talking about high school bowling, folks. If you have got a young person, I want to say this again because I seen it over the years that I was involved in the bowling business. You get a younger person there, elementary, then, maybe doing the junior league bowling and things like that, and they move up and start bowling in middle school. They get to high school. They find a place, and a lot of times that's what young people need to do. They just need to find a place they belong, find a team that they want to be a part of that shares similar interest. So if you've got a young person that is not your, traditional, but I say this, and I'm going to say this as well. I remember there was a lot of football players and basketball players in years past that fit this into their schedule as well because they had a passion for that. So I'm not saying that it's just for people that don't play those sports. It's for everyone. And so if you got someone, get by the local bowling center here in Cleveland and talk to them about getting involved in leagues for the youth and leagues for high school bowling and those type things. And, Hannah, I know we talked about it a little bit off air. I mean, you want to pursue bowling after this year. If there's opportunities there, you would like to pursue that maybe in the collegiate level, correct?
Yes.
So there you go. I mean, you can get, Chelsea, you can get scholarships to go bowling and help pay for your college.
I think we talked about, I think there's over 500 schools around the United States that have bowling teams. I know this past weekend, Tennessee Wesleyan just traveled for their first time this season. I mean, it's fun. If you've never got to experience even a high school bowling match, college is a totally different level.
Right.
And it's a ton of fun. But I will say it changes from very team-wide to a lot of individualized. But like this week, it was a baker, so obviously everybody had to work together. So, I mean, it is teamwork, but it is individual game. I mean, so, and like you're saying, for those kids that can't find their niche, this is a great thing to do because you work on you. Yeah. And then it helps the team in turn.
And it is a family deal. I can promise you that once you get in there with coaches like you and all the other coaches. And I believe, I don't think you would mind me saying you found your husband at the bowling alley.
I did.
After bowling against each other and together for years. And the love of bowling brought you guys together for a long life besides the love of bowling. But folks, again, we wanted to spotlight this because, again, we really – I announced it at the top of the hour. We got high school basketball tonight. We're going to be airing here on Mix 104.1, and we spotlight those athletes, and bowling athletes are the same. And when we have regions going on right here in our community and the possibility of sub-state games going on here just a few short days after that, we need to spotlight these athletes. They work just as hard as any other athletes do in any other sport. And we just wanted to give them some love today. Bring in Hannah and tell her how proud of you that we are, that you're doing so well. And we wish you nothing but the best moving forward. And Chelsea, I know before we go, you said you wanted to give a shout out to Ben Moore and Mike Brown and the people here locally, because without the support that they've given high school bowling, then maybe this wouldn't be what we're talking about today.
I mean, Michael Brown, has been phenomenal this year working with us, with COVID, having to reschedule, but all I had to do was call him and say, hey, this is where we're heading. He said, whatever you need, we'll do it. And that's been phenomenal to have that support for, opening his lanes whenever we need them open. I texted him this weekend and was like, hey, can we come in Monday? We'll find you a place. So, I mean, he has worked with us phenomenally. And so from the bottom of our hearts, we thank him for being so amazing and, welcoming for our team and just supporting us throughout this whole season.
Well, good stuff, guys. Again, congratulations on a good season. Good luck moving through tomorrow. And good luck to you and also the Walker Valley Bowlers as well, John Smeltzer and those people. Really just good people. Just, between you and the coaches there, just great people. And a shout out to Aaron White, which everybody that's ever bowled in this community know who the Whites are. And so he's up actually coaching collegiately now at Tennessee Wesleyan. And so congratulations to him. Is this his first year coaching at that level? Yeah.
Well, he assisted last year.
Okay.
And so then he took on the head role this year. So I picked up 2 new guys.
So good deal. It's a good deal. Well, guys, congratulations again. Thanks so much, Hannah. You did a tremendous job. We didn't get you too far under the bus, did we? No, she did all right. Well, guys, we'll let you get to it, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here to Mix 104.1 in just a moment. Stay here with us. Cleveland Ford has been